won't be long. I mean, the Lord has really just given us his presence. I'm so grateful. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Father. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you kept your word. I'm so grateful. It's just little on me, God. But when I have you, I become somebody. And I thank you, Jesus, that my past mistakes didn't count me out. Thank you, Father. Thank you for these women in this room. Oh my goodness. Jesus, these are your wives. They belong to you, Father. And Lord, I thank you that you've entrusted me to be able to speak what you have given. Thank you, Father God, that I'm just considered worthy to speak your words. I'm just so humble. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful for this moment. Thank you, Father God. Lord, I just pray that whatever I speak, that it is only what you want me to say. Let me forget whatever that you don't want me to say. Just take it on out. I just want to be your vessel. I want to say whatever you say. And I pray, Father God, that they leave here with something to really hold on to and remember to. And thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name, amen. All right, ladies. Okay, so I really want you guys to all, even tomorrow, take notes and, really, I want you to go home and really implement this stuff. The things that you hear, then we're going to have so many people that are talking tomorrow, and even right now, some notes that you have. Take it out. There's little notepads in the back if anybody needs one on the table back there. But let's get into the bread. This is how we eat right here. This is the bread, and I promise I'm not going to be boring. We're gonna get going. Okay, so here we go. So I'm talking about. Can I turn this down just a little bit? Thank you. All right. So I'm talking tonight. This is gonna catch you off guard just a little bit, right? So we're gonna be coming from 1 Kings 17. All right. So 1 Kings 17 is the story of a widow. What? Why? We're all alive. Why? Why do I need to talk to you about a widow? I'll tell you why in just a second. So first of all, have we heard the story where, we've heard the story where she had no food, no nothing, and so he told her to go out, right? Okay, so there's two prophets, one named Elijah and one named Elisha. Both of them encountered a widow, both of them. The first one, God told him to go to the widow. That's Elijah. He's the one who the birds were feeding when he was out in no man's land. And God said, go to this place, there's a widow there, and she'll take care of you. That's Elijah with a J. All right, then we have Elisha who took over for Elijah, right? Elisha, God said, a widow will come to you. So the widow went, Elijah went, Elisha, the one came, all right? So tonight, we're talking about Elijah, who God said, go, there will be a widow to take care of you. That's what we're talking about tonight. Now, why am I talking to a room full of wives that are alive and well and sexy and looking good and free? We done lost 10 pounds just now, okay? We are looking all kind of snatched. I don't care what nobody say. We don't create our own definition. I'm snatched. I don't care. Catch these stretch marks and these lumps. I'm snatched anyway. I don't care, okay? So, I'm talking about a widow because God told me, he said that there are some women who are coming tonight who have accepted death over their marriages. There are some women who are coming tonight who have really just accepted the fact that, my husband's not going to change. That's death. You've accepted the fact that, you know what, he's always going to be like that. He's always going to talk to me this way. My marriage is never, can we be honest, has anybody ever been to that point where you're just like, man, you're not going to change, are you? How much do I have to cry? How much do I have to beg? How much do I have to leave subliminal messages everywhere and leave hits? You're just not going to change. You're the same. And God says that I need my wives to know that there's nothing about me that is dead. I am a living God. I am a living God. So we are going to get out of this widow mentality, and we're going to invite the living God into our dead situation. Because where God is, nothing can stay there. It's impossible. Jesus defeated death. And so tonight, we're going to be talking about widow's syndrome. All right? And I'm going to read the scripture. So I like to read from the New Living Translation because I can't really understand King James. No, I don't know. If you guys are good with the thee, the thou, the ye, the yo, I don't know. I'm give me something I can understand, Jesus. New Living Translation, that's for me. All right, so let me just read it really quickly. Well, I like to talk as I read. Is that okay? Okay, so widow syndrome. Think about this. So first of all, 1 Kings chapter 17. So we're going to start at verse 8, all right? So look, here's the thing. I love this part. So this is not really a part of widow syndrome, but we got to catch this part really quick, because when God gave it to me, I was like, oh, I'm so guilty. So God said to Elijah, go and live in the village near the city of Sidon. I have instructed a widow there to feed you. Okay, let me just stop really quick, because has anybody ever read this whole story? Or did it, I'm not judging you if you haven't. It's totally cool. Probably 2nd Kings, 1 Kings, where is it? It's okay. So, in this story, he comes up to her and he's like, I need you to do this and this. And she's like, she had no clue. So it blew my mind that God said, I have instructed a widow there to feed you. But the widow was like, oh, you want, you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, it's like God is telling us to do some things that we don't know we've been assigned to do. But because we are faced with this widow mentality of, oh, well, I didn't really graduate, or, I really don't have that much talent. I really don't have the gifts for that. I'm not even going to apply to that. I don't qualify for that. Stop thinking like a widow. Bring some life into those, those low self-esteem moments. God didn't create you with no low self-esteem. Everything he touches is the bomb. Everything he touches, it glitters, it shines, it's gold. God don't make no junk. And he took the time to touch you with his hands. So that means you are somebody. So we got to understand that, okay, maybe, just maybe, I am on assignment right now, and maybe I don't know about it. So what we need to do is we need to say, God, show me. God, where do you want me to go? Who do you want me to be? Let me be that. Let me walk into that tonight. God says, do you dare to have confidence in me that I can fulfill in you what you think you are disqualified about? Because really, to be honest, he's our only qualification. I don't care. I mean, a degree is nice. It comes with a lot of student loans. So, I mean, you can't even, that's not even, give me no debt blessing. That comes from Jesus. That comes from the Lord. The Lord will take your gift and turn it into like a multi-million-dollar business. Like, the Lord will take your gifts and your talents, and he'll put you before people, and they'll be like, you know what? I can use that. And before you know it, you're out of debt. You're like, oh my goodness. So I want us to really, really focus in that, God, what is my assignment? Am I not focused on what you want me to do because I'm trying to fulfill what my mom said she wanted me to be? Am I not focused? Am I not hearing you because, they tell me that I am supposed to be like this? Lord, am I on instruction? Or have you instructed me to do something as you did this way? Okay, now if we go over to verse 10. So Elijah went to the city, and as he arrived at the gates of the village, he saw a widow gathering her sticks, and he asked her, would you please bring me a little water in a cup? Okay, pause. God did not give him any description. He did not say she's blonde with blue eyes, her name's Brenda, and she's so sexy. He didn't say that. He didn't, that blows my mind. All he told Elijah was, go, there's going to be a widow. I would have been like, how tall is she? How many times are we like, God, I need more details? I need more details. How do you know she's a widow? He just went up to her. She's gathering some sticks, and something in his mind said, I'm just going to ask her. How many of us are disobeying God because he didn't give us enough details? And God is like, if you would just go, I have your miracle on the other side of that. I have an overflowing blessing for you if you step on the other side of fear and just do it. If you go, I'll give you the details when you get there, I promise. But the thing is, you gotta be excited and you gotta have faith to say, I'm just gonna step. I'm just, I don't know. He told me to go find a woman. There's 80 women here. Well, whatever. I'm just gonna go. He told me to go apply for this job. Okay, whatever. Stop thinking about, I don't know enough. Don't let your doubt take you away from your destiny. Don't let what God has placed on you, don't let the fear steal your faith. Don't do that. God has given you faith. You know what Jesus said? If you have faith, you can move this mountain. And he was talking about a real mountain. He wasn't talking like a metaphor. He was looking at a mountain. He said, that, you can tell it to move. How crazy is that? I can tell something that's on the ground to move and it will listen. God said, if you got faith, yeah. Why is that surprising to you? That's how God's like, yeah, just do it. Just try. Okay, so I think we can learn from Elijah in that where it's like, okay, Lord, I feel this heavy. Because some people are like, well, how do I know it's God? We all hear God differently. We all hear God differently. You have to stop worrying about what other people say God is like, and you have to say, God, can you teach me who you are? Can you teach me what you sound like? Can you show me but you know what? The only way you'll start looking at signs and knowing signs is when you read his word. That's the only way you'll know his sign. Because, think about it, and I say this because some of us are baby steps, some of us are big steps. So this person might be able to hear God like this, and you're kind of just like, oh, maybe God doesn't love me enough. No, this person is staying up in the middle of the night praying and walking the floors. This person, it's not that you guys are better than each other. It's just that you have to make an effort to say, God, I really want to know you. Teach me. And you read, and I'm telling you, one way, and I will just tell you this, one way that God speaks to us is through peace. So when you go and you make a big decision, right, or if God tells you to leave, or God tells you to cut a relationship off, or God tells you to quit somewhere, or whatever he tells you to do, he might tell you, go get that person $100. He might tell you, go do this. How you know it's God, you have a peace. Like, God just told me to give this person $100, and I only have $150, but for some reason, I'm okay with that. That's God. He's the Prince of Peace. So when you feel peace in a huge decision, God, I feel like I should move to Texas. Oh, but I'm stressing about it. Nothing's working out. Things aren't happening right. Everything that I planned over there gets shut down. Well, maybe you need to pray a little bit more. If you don't have peace from that, God is not. Because when he sends you somewhere, things just kind of fall into place. I'm not saying that there's not going to be problems. There's going to be problems because the devil wants you to stop. So there's going to be problems, but you'll look up and you'll be like, oh, dang, there's problems, but things are like lining up. Like, how did that even happen? So you have to have the faith to go and do it even if you don't have the details. Can we agree to at least try? At least try. God will meet you at a try. He really will. He'll meet you at a try. Okay, here we go. Widow's syndrome. All right. Widow syndrome. Number one, when we look at verse 11 through 12. So 11 says, that's 12. Okay, so 11 says, as she was going to get it, so he asked her for water. He said, would you please bring me a little cup of water? That was in verse 10. Verse 11, she says, as she was going to get it, he called out to her, bring me a bread of bread too. Make sure you give me some bread too. And then verse 12, she's like, I swear by the Lord your God, I don't have a single piece of bread in this house. And if I only had a handful of flour, okay, let me just stop. You know what I thought was interesting? So when he said, can you give me some water? She was going. But then when he started to ask for more, oh, hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How many of us do that? We're so irritated, it's like, no. You ask me for another thing, I'm done. I'm not doing it, I'm not built for this, I'm over it. No, that's widow syndrome. I'm sorry. That's a little bit of widow syndrome. And the reason why is because God did not create you to be limited. You guys, our bodies were built to carry babies, to birth babies. Like, that is a superpower in itself. God has equipped you for stability, for strength, for longevity. So sometimes you're cutting yourself short. Sometimes you're just like, okay, I need to get to the root of why I'm so impatient. Sometimes you need to say, why is it that I'm so irritated? Why is it that I'm so frustrated? When somebody gives you another load and your instant reaction is to fight, that ain't God, because nothing in God is like that. God is not an evil, he's not a complainer. He doesn't complain. So when you begin to complain, you got to say, oh, hold on. This is going against the ways of God. Let me double check why I just got irritated when you asked me to do more. Maybe that means you need to tell your husband, babe, I need some help. Babe, I just need to tell him, talk to him, not bark at him. You don't do nothing. Every time you come home, you talk about where's lunch. You don't know that I had to do this and I had to do that and then this and then they gonna call me talking about they need this and blah, blah, blah. So you have all this built up, you have all this going on, and he's like, I just said, babe, are you hungry? I just asked, are you hungry? Like, that's all. I just want to know if you want to go to lunch. That's it. So you have to ask the Lord God, please show me. What am I dissatisfied with my life? Is that why I'm so irritated? Am I not following my trainings? Am I unfulfilled? And so because I'm frustrated at home or because I'm frustrated here, I'm going off on you because really there's something inside of me. There's more in me. I know that there's something out there, and I just gotta go get it. I just gotta go. That might be what's causing you to feel frustrated because you're unfulfilled, and God didn't create And because I've designed her to do this, I'm about to give her an overload of blessings so she'll be able to do it. But that only happens when you receive it. And when you say, God, whatever challenges, I'm just going to say yes. And then the doors start to open and you get provisions out of nowhere. And he provides in crazy ways. So we have to really be careful of the syndrome that causes us to be frustrated every time somebody asks for something else. It's okay. God, give it to God. Give it to God. Do you guys know that he really wants to be your friend? He really, really wants to. He's tired of you leaving him at the church on Sunday. He's tired. He's tired of it. He's like, girl, you done forgot me? How come you don't worship me driving to work? All right. Why? I was with you in the car. I'm with you in the car. Why don't you just play the scriptures in your car? Just play the Bible. The Bible app, it plays it for you. Right. You can hook it to your car. Just listen. Just listen. God, you're like, I don't have time. I got to do this. You have time to think, don't you? So put something in your ears to help you think. The word says that faith comes by hearing. Put something to listen to. Amen. Put something to listen to. I like Beyonce, but sometimes I'm like, look, Beyonce, Jesus needs to talk to me right now. I need to hear the Lord. Let me turn you off. If we're honest, I like, what is the year? I like new exposed Beyonce, like before. I like the birthday and like the deja vu. I like that. It had no cussing in it. It was all nice. It was all sweet. Now, we praying for this. That's our sister Beyonce. We praying for her. But sometimes she got some words and some stuff. I'm like, girl, what you going through? We are gonna come together and we are gonna pray for our girl Beyonce. So now we can get back to that, the music that has less cursing and less like, oh my God, it's kind of vulgar. We're gonna pray for our girl. Okay, so number two, widow syndrome. She viewed, let me read verse 12. So verse 12, but she said, I swear by the Lord, my God, your God, that I don't have a single piece of bread in the house, and I have only a handful of flour left in the jar and a little cooking oil in the bottom of the jug. Here we go. I was just gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal, and then my son and I will die. Dang. She viewed everything through a lens of death. She viewed everything through the lens of disappointment. I'm just going to cook this last meal. Where's your hope, girl? I'm just going to do this last thing. I'm just going to, you have to be careful with letting bad experiences mask how you do anything else in your life. Okay, maybe you did. Maybe you're married for the second time. Maybe the first divorce didn't work. That don't mean you're not a great wife now. That doesn't mean that you're defined by whatever happened before. That's gone. The Lord has blessed you in a new relationship. You're a whole new person. You can change your name at home. You can change your name. Change your name to somebody else. Like, maybe you need to call me Stephanie today because I'm a whole new woman. Okay, leave behind. Don't now look at your new marriage through the lens of what happened in your last marriage. You get what I'm saying? Don't now look at your new job through the lens of what happened at your old job. Maybe somebody in here has dealt with a miscarriage. You are not living in that miscarriage. Our God is a God of restoration. Our God is a God who will revive whatever it is that's inside of you. You will be a mother. You will have a child. God is able to do that. But we have to change our lenses because our lens causes us to speak the wrong thing. Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. If you constantly think you're a mess, you're going to produce a mess. If you constantly are thinking, I'm really not as pretty as everybody else, you're not gonna take any like oomph in getting dressed. You're just gonna put on whatever. You're not gonna care. Girl, get some eyelashes, makeup, and get some lipstick. Why not? Who says you're not as good as you are good? You're as good as you think you are. You're as sexy as you think you are. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes it'll be like a whole week and I don't let myself go. Don't say nothing. Oh, is that Chuck? Oh, no, that's not Chuck. I thought he was in there. I looked last time he was sitting right there, but he probably would have said a whole amen. But sometimes I'll tell you a true story. This happened this week. So I like to have my hair like the little twist braids, and I just keep them in. My husband comes to me and he goes, babe, he Protective style, so pretty much protective style with protective style. So when you braid your hair down, and then you put like extensions in so that you can let your hair alone, you let it breathe, you stop putting so much heat on it, and you just get like, I get mine from Amazon, wherever you get your hair from, and you just put it in. And so my husband was like, I'm really tired of that. Now, I could have let my past say, so then who looks good to you? So then who do you want me to look like? I used to be that way. Our first year of marriage, thank you, Lord, for deliverance. Thank you, Lord, for just your changing grace. My first year of marriage, y'all, I was constantly looking at his phone. I was constantly trying to figure out who are you talking to? Are you still talking to this person? I was driving myself crazy. And because I thought he was doing something, I started to act ridiculous. I started to do these crazy things, and it's like, you're causing him to be unattracted to you because you're acting like a fool. If you would just focus on you, pray for him and let it go. If there's something, God, you handle that. Father God, I'm feeling insecure in this way. I think that he might be attracted to this woman, or and that might not even be the case. It could be something that just happened in the past. It's haunting your lenses now. And because of what happened, you're allowing that to run your blessing away. Our husbands are a blessing, guys. Sometimes I think if I were single, oh my goodness, I would really be struggling. So here's the thing, even when your husband makes you upset, God, I thank you that I at least have somebody to lay next to. You gotta search, okay? Search for something. Lord, I'm glad he doesn't have stinky breath. Lord, I'm just glad that he washes his hands. Sometimes he makes you so mad you have to search. Search for something that makes you like him. Seriously, you have to. It's Lord, fix my lenses, Father, please. Proverbs 10:24 says, the fears of the wicked will be fulfilled, but the hopes of the godly will be granted. So that pretty much means what you think manifests. If you think fears, that's what's going to happen. Because you're going to start moving you're going to second guess everything. You're going to just kind of you're going to be moving in fear because you're thinking it. And on the flip side, if you're full of hopes, oh my goodness, this is really going to work out. This is really going to really be great. Do you guys know that when I was promoting this flashback retreat, all I kept saying was, it's going to be amazing. I didn't have a venue. I didn't have a nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. All I said was, it's going to be great. Whatever it is, wherever it's going to be, God, it's going to be so good. And the reason why it's going to be good is because, God, I believe that you're going to be there. And I spoke that hope. He was here today. Wasn't he here today? He was here today. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. So let your hopes be what you think more often. And let that manifest in your life. All right? Okay, so number 3. So verse 12, we already talked about how she was just I'm going to make this food and then we're going to die. Okay, well, then we go down to verse 17. Actually, no, let me just bear with me. I'm going to read this whole thing. Scripture is nice. We're going to enjoy this. Okay, so here we go. So she goes, and at the end of verse 12, I was just gathering a few sticks to cook this last meal, and then me and my son will die. But Elijah said to her, don't be afraid. Go ahead and do just what you said, but make a little bread for me first. Then use what's left over to prepare a meal for yourself and your son. For this is what the Lord said. Sometimes you got to tell yourself, well, this is what the Lord said. You got to just sometimes you got to just do a Google search. Scriptures on positive thinking. Scriptures on more wealth. Scriptures on no debt. Scriptures on friendship. Scriptures on marriage. Google it so that you can tell your situation, this is what the Lord says. Everything else can be acting crazy, but this is what the Lord says. So he goes on to say, for this is what the Lord said, the God of Israel says this, there will always, come on, say always. Always. There will always be flour and olive oil left in your containers until the time when the Lord sends rain and crop to grow again. Always. So she did as Elijah said, and she and Elijah and her family continued to eat for many days. There was always, say always. Always. There was always enough flour pull that scripture out, write it on a note card and paste it somewhere so you can see it. And say, Lord, but you said. Like my account's negative, but you said. You said if I paid my tithes, that you would send an overflow. God, you said this. So Lord, I believe you. God, I am going to stick with you. I am not going to give up. I am going to keep on doing what you said to do because I know that your word comes to pass. Okay? You said, now here's the part, verse 17. Sometime later, the woman's son became sick. He grew worse and worse, and finally, he died. Your words have power. She spoke her son's death. Your words are that powerful. The first thing she said to him was, I'm making this last meal so me and my son can die. How we stop our words is we acknowledge and we repent. We say, oh, you know what, God, I've been saying all along that, nothing's going to change in my marriage. Father, forgive me, Lord, and bring it. Bring the change, God. I'm sorry, I repent, I'm ready. And that's how we reconcile back to God's promise. That's it. It's so simple. We just say, God, I'm so sorry. Thank you, Lord, for bringing the restoration. Thank you, God, for doing what you said you were going to do. Boom, it's mended. It's not a Band-Aid either. It's literally like flesh connecting back to flesh. And you canceled out the death that you spoke. Okay, so I just want to give you a few quick scriptures on that. So Numbers 14:28, I just want to show you just how powerful your words are. And you have to be careful. Like, are you speaking and using so much doom that you don't even realize it's coming out your mouth? Like, it's just normal. Like, it's just natural in what you say. God, help me to check my mouth. God, ding me or prick me or something. Give me some type of nudge when I say something that goes against your word. You have to give God permission to do that because he's a gentleman and he's not going to force himself on you. You have to tell God, I want to change. You have to tell God, I want to speak better words. You have to mean that thing and say it, and God will help you. God will help you because Numbers 14:28 says, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I heard you say.
Numbers what?
Numbers. That's not yet. Y'all talk back to me. That's where you're going at. Numbers 14:28. As surely as I live, and God don't die. That's forever. That's forever. He says, as surely as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I heard you say. So I need you guys to just repeat after me. My house will prosper.
My house will prosper.
My house will always have what it needs.
My house will always have what it needs.
Always.
Always.
Because Jesus said so.
Because Jesus said so.
And I believe it.
And I believe it.
God said, I will do to you the very thing I heard you say. So it's time to start speaking out loud. I don't care how crazy you look. You might be in your car all by yourself. Somebody pulls up to you, have a whole conversation. It doesn't matter. You can just be sitting there. God, you are going to restore my husband. He is going to be nicer to me. He is going to look at me and think I'm the sexiest thing in the world. He's going to love me. He's going to provide for me. He's going to have more confidence. He's going to step up and be the man that I need him to be. I'm going to feel safe in the house because I know he's going to step up to the role. I'm going to feel safe in the home because I know that he's going to provide. I'm going to trust him with the money, Father God, because I don't trust him. I trust you. And I trust what you put in his mind. And God, I ask that you put the right things in his mind today. Father God, he's going to touch me right. Father God, he's going to find my G-spot. Father God, he's going to touch me where I want to be touched. He's going to lift me where I want to be lifted. You better talk to God, Lord. You better get real with the Lord. Get real with him. Get real with him. I mean, the thing that I don't understand, I don't get why people are so uncomfortable being real with God. Like, he can hear you. Like, he can hear your thoughts. He heard what you said. Like, just get real. Just take off the mask and say, look, this is how I'm feeling. Like, I haven't had any in a week, and I'm really irritated, and I don't know why he's not interested, because that's a problem, too. Sometimes your husband doesn't want anything. So, and it makes you feel like, am I ugly? Am I not doing something right? Like, why don't you want me? Why aren't you attracted to me? Especially when you get around your friends, and they're like, oh, girl, it was another night. He done lift me upside down. You're just like, oh, okay. I didn't even ask that. Like, you just walked into the lunchroom, and they're just exposing everything. And it makes you feel like, like, why is that not happening with my marriage? One, stop comparing yourself. Because you don't know what's really going on. A lot of people like to hype things up. that's really going on for her, God, I pray that you sustain that for her, because I ain't no hater. Lord, thank you for that. Girl, let it pull your hair to it. Like, get into the story. Get into the story. Like, let's be women that really go for other women. Like, I don't have to know you because God's got my back. So I can promote you. I can rock you, lift you up, because God will take care of me. My house is going to be good. I'm not worried about what you got going on. Girl, I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. Come on. That's what being a spice wife is. Can I tell y'all something? Spice wife is not a brand. It's not a brand. It's not. It's a lifestyle. Like, when you see Spice Wife, when you hear Spice Wife, don't think of me. Don't think of me. I'm just doing what God tells me to do. You say, I am a Spice Wife. I'm going to have stronger faith. I'm going to read my word. I'm going to get this wax. I'm going to get my weekend. I'm going to handle my faith and my bedroom because I am a Spice Wife. That is me. God has given that to me. Claim that, girl. You are a Spice Wife. Okay? Like, walk around with your bag and when somebody, because here's the thing, when you have a bag or you have a shirt or whatever you have, when people ask you what that is, you get to talk about Jesus. Like, that is your button to be able to disciple to somebody, to bring, and you don't even have to be like super deep. You just like, oh girl, look, let me tell you, this is a podcast that I listen to, but really, this means that you cut up, devil, and I'm going to send you right back where you go. I'm not going to play no games with Satan today, and I'm going to also make sure that I get my toes done, and I'm going to be sexy, and I'm going to do good. Girl, it's a whole movement. Just tell me, just like talk about the Lord, and you don't know who, you might encourage somebody else. All right? So let's watch our words. Do not have widow syndrome and be speaking death into your husband. Okay? And you know, even like his self-esteem, we can damage that. Like, we can really damage that. Like, if your husband, for instance, like, you come home and he washes the dishes for you, and you're just like, why did you set them in the dishwasher this way? The water didn't spray there. Or if he like, why did you do that? Or if he decides, I'm just going to wash her clothes. No. We have to get into the habit of saying, God, help me to see my husband how you see him. God, why did he wash my clothes? Like, and let the Lord show you. Let the Lord show you. He thought you were having a rough week and he really just wanted to help. That's all he wanted to do. I know he didn't do it right. When he goes to sleep, wash them over. You know, like, let's increase the peace in our homes, okay? It starts with us. Like, okay, Lord, all right. You might have to go outside for a minute. You might, let's keep it real. You might have to take a walk. That is okay. That is okay. Some of you might just go grab a glass of wine. I don't know what you do, but if that's your thing, just don't overdo it because the Bible says do not become drunk. So if you want to drink a little bit of wine, do your thing. Have some water later. Don't go overdoing it. All right. So we have to really just be more kind to our husbands and don't speak death into them because that can beat down his self-esteem. Like, dang, I don't do nothing right. No, I'm just not going to do nothing anymore. And then you're complaining that nobody helps you. But he tried. He tried. So, Lord, please help me to see my husband how you see him. Please. All right, let's stop speaking doom. We're almost done. Number 4, and then 5, and we're finished. Number 4, verse 18, she says, then she said to Elijah, oh, man of God. So her son died. And so then she's like, Elijah, oh, man of God, what have you done to me? Have you come here to point out my sins and kill my son? Okay, hold on. Let's take out the widow syndrome and stop blaming others for what we have done. Let's stop casting the blame because it's easier to point the finger than to look in the mirror. But can't nobody grow that way. You cannot grow, you cannot develop if you're constantly trying to point the finger like, well, if you would have went to work, the lights would have been cut on. If you would have went and got a job, or if you would have done this, if you would have stayed a little longer, the kids wouldn't be acting like this. If you would just help a little bit. No. Don't cast blame on somebody else. Say, Lord, have I spoken this into existence? Like, why are my kids, instead of like being so worried and angry that, you got teenagers, you got kids or whatever, they just off doing their own thing, it's because their dad don't show me no respect. That's why you're talking to me like that, because you don't talk to me right. That's why they acting like that, because you let them around your ghetto family, and now look how they acting. They're coming home, saying cuss words. We don't talk like that. Where they get that from? Like, and you're blaming everything on him, where God is just like, yeah, but you ain't prayed for him in a week. Whoa. don't think of it as like works. Like, oh, I got to do this for God to love me. I got to do this for God to fix it. No. I do this just because I love the Lord. I do this just because he's so good. And if he never does anything else for me again, he's already sent Jesus, and that's enough. That is enough. That is enough. So we start to read our Bible just because we like him. We start to read I cannot tell you guys, like, when I read my word, it literally works. Like, it works. So if I have like a heaviness on me, right? So let's say I just got stress. I got all this stress, and it's just weighing me down and weighing me down and weighing me down. I will be honest. Sometimes I try to figure it out myself. I try to fix it. Don't we do that? We try to just fix everything. Well, I know what to do. I'll just do it. I'll just take care of it. Just forget it. I just should have never asked. And so we're just like, we're just adding on more and adding on more and adding on more. And I've done this. And I would just hear, that's another way. The Lord talks to you in your thoughts. And when you read your word, you know what thoughts align with him. Mm-hmm. You know that it's like, okay, that thought, no. God wants me to forgive, so why am I thinking of all the things that no, that ain't God. So it's like, okay, and you'll begin to hear him. So I'll hear something in my head that's like, read your Bible. And it's really faint. God is not loud. He doesn't yell. He doesn't have a microphone. He comes in a still, small voice. And you'll hear that. You should probably read your Bible. And I kid you not, it works. When I open my Bible, and I don't even know what to open. I just open it. And I just start reading. But the thing is, don't give up. Keep reading until something sticks out. Keep reading until you get to something, and all of a sudden it's just like, and you're just like, all right. And the crazy thing is, it might not be fixed, but you just have peace about it. You're just like, gotta do it when it's time. So when you really get into a relationship with God and you just love him, just because he's great, it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world. All right? Very last point. Here we go, ladies. Verse 24. Oh, actually, let me just say one more thing about that. So when you stop blaming other people, you have to be willing to accept correction. You have to be willing to accept the fact that, that one's done, but it was for me. I needed it, and I'm not going to get upset because somebody came and told me, well, maybe you should not do that anymore. No. God, thank you for your correction. Father, you want me to be better? Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I receive that in the name of Jesus. All right? Okay, very last point. And we are going to go home for tonight and come back tomorrow refreshed and ready to get this spice kicked up to a level 12. Oh, girl. It's going. All right. The last point is verse 24. So after all of this, Elijah prayed for her son. He laid hands. The son came back to life. And so then in verse 24, she says, then the woman told Elijah, now I know for sure that you are a man of God, and that the Lord truly speaks through you. You guys, why does it have to take a death and some huge thing for us to realize that God is on our side? Why, we have got to stop allowing these huge traumas to happen in our life. How come he wasn't a true man of God when you were getting your oils filled and your bread and your flour? That happened up in verse 14. God came and he filled up your cabinets, girl. Somebody dropped groceries off at your front door. Why don't you see that as God? Why don't you see that? Why? It's not, oh, wow, they're just really nice. No, it's God moved them. And because God loves you, God put you on their mind. It's God. It's not. We've got to stop putting so much power and dependence on people and say, God, you did that. Right. God, you used them. Thank you, Lord. And we have to learn to identify God in every little thing. Yeah. Every little thing. The birds are chirping. Wow, God, that's you. Yeah. Like the wind. Where does that come from? Thank you, God. Wow, that's you. The trees, look at all these thousands of trees. There's no way man could have done this. Wow, God. The ocean knows where to stop, and we call it a beach. That's you. God, you did that. Wow. Let's start recognizing how God is truly in our lives. Let's not let our lives get to a near-death situation. Let's not let our lives just be over. Let's stop speaking doom. Let's stop letting what happened to us cloud our vision. Let's stop being, rejecting any type of correction and any type of love. Let's knock off this widow syndrome. Let's knock off this widow syndrome. And let's receive everything that God has for us, because he said he will always give you exactly what you need. So tonight, we are shifting into the lifestyle of always. We are shifting into the I'm going to start speaking life into my home. I'm going to start speaking life into whatever situation is hard. Can we join together and say, I'm not going to have a widow syndrome. I'm not. Come on, say it. Say it so you can hear it and you can believe it. Faith comes by hearing. Start talking to yourself out loud. I am not going to be a spice widow. I am not going to have widow's syndrome. The minute you get ready to start talking something negative, cut it off. God won't talk like this, so I'm not going to talk like this. All right? All right, ladies. So that is a wrap for today. Register your waxing. And by the way, when you get your wax, it's literally right on the other side of this wall. So you don't have to go far. You can go get your services done, and then you come back in and enjoy the sessions. All right? So we have so much fun tomorrow. All right, can we just pray out? All right, let's stand. Ladies, hug each other. Talk to each other when you leave. Give each other a high five. Say, together, be happy, merry, and we're sisters tonight. You can make a sister. You didn't even know you had. All right. So, Father God, we thank you so much for you visiting us tonight. We thank you so much for what we have released. And Father God, I pray that you give us the power to leave it here. You give us the power to really speak life into our situations. I ask, Father God, that you give us the confidence to know that you hear us. Thank you, Father God, for giving us the confidence to know that we have the power to shift things in our life. Father God, thank you so much for your promise of always. We will always have peace. We will always have finances. We will always have joy. We will always have just excitement in our marriages. We will always have attraction to our husbands. We will always have what we need. And it's because you promised us always. Thank you for this shift of always. Father God, I ask that those who are leaving, that you cover them. You protect them wherever they go and bring them back in the morning safely. Thank you, God, for just who you are to us. We're so grateful for you. We're so grateful